today's going to be a quick one for you. It's going to show you how to get chitin in your early days of playing Arc. Before you have any of the real high-end dyno mounts, or I should say mounts at this point because they're not really dynos. One thing that I have found is chitin has been a very big resource in Arc. Trying to get cementing paste to do anything, especially platforms. If you're trying to build tree platforms or anything along that lines, or cliff platforms, I should say. You end up needing a lot of cementing paste. So one of the fastest ways I have determined to pick up the chitin is to take a scorpion and go swimming with it. Now there are a lot of other ways you could go kill the carcinos, but that requires a lot of arrows, and by the time you've farmed the flint, the fiber, and the thatch, which the thatch is hard to get actually, so thatch is valuable, uh, you have taken up a fair amount of time, and you may have just been able to do this instead, because I know the carcinos can have a lot of health, and it can be really hard to kill sometimes, even though the arrows penetrate the carcino's skin like nothing. But basically, you swim around in this lake over here, and what you do is you make circles around the lake over here. You can see on the map right here the coordinates. It's I can't really read them at the moment. 48 latitude and 35, 36, oh not 35, 36, 37 longitude. That's the general coordinates right there. That'll get you, or no, is that, oh, 27, 26, 27 longitude. And basically that is the general location where I'm at. Is like right after the portal. You can go down right to the water. It's the first time you meet the water really without having to jump off the cliff. It's the fastest, I mean, it's the only walkway down to the water from the portal area where you were not allowed to build. So this is where I collect all my chitin. You can see this lake to the right of me. And what I do is I sometimes comb the beach real quickly because the beach can have pretty good ones on the beach. But if not, what I'll do is I will drop down into the water here and I will swim directly around the entire thing, combing the bottom. I heavily suggest doing this in the day, but nighttime can be useful. You can do it in the night as well. The daytime just gives you more light, means you can track the trilobites a little bit easier. So when you come across a group of them under the water, they don't necessarily get away because you can see them. Like right now, you can see it's very dark, very hard to find them, but it's what it is. Now I also get a lot of levels in here when I do this, so this is just another bonus. You can swim around the outer edge over here and collect a lot of levels just swimming around this and gather and killing all the fish. I've leveled up fairly decent amount of times here. There are otters under here and everything else to give you some levels, but you can see it's very, very dark. But generally, the rules of this is get something that can swim really well. I heavily suggest a scorpion for this reason, and it also has to collect chitin very well. So you need something that can swim well and that can collect chitin. And also, this is a very big helpful thing, something that doesn't have a big knockback. My Scorpion does not have much of a knockback, so it works really, really well. I can stay on them, as you can see. They really don't get knocked far when I hit them, so it's not like I'm chasing them for 3 years, trying to just kill one. I hit the guy, and I keep on going and going and going. Also, with the Scorpion, you can see I got 7 chitin there. That's probably the lowest yield I've ever gotten. Most of the time, it hangs around 20, 24. And then when I get my highest, I've seen as much as 40, 41. I think I've even seen a little higher than that. But I generally can collect between about 12 chitin at the very, very bare minimum, and that's actually stretching. I'd say more around about my average amount of chitin is about 25 chitin, and that means I only had to kill about 4 trilobites per 100 chitin. Sometimes I had to kill a few more, sometimes I had to kill a few less. But I know one thing: the scorpion seems to be very adept to getting the chitin from the trilobites. When it comes to other things such as other scorpions or anything else that is built like with chitin as its body, I don't seem to get much chitin. So it seems like he's only adept for this one task right here, killing these trilobites. And when he does it a fairly good job. The Scorpion does have 300% melee, or no, almost, no, 400% melee at this point. But it is only a 183 perfect 140 or 145 tame. I can't remember. It was tamed at 140, 145 normal rate, so it didn't really tame up that much. I mean, you only got like 40 levels. But between that and being on official server rates, like everything is standard on this server. So collecting the chitin, you'll collect a fair amount for the rates versus necessarily going out there and fighting with the Carcino and risking your life if the Carcino's smart enough and happens to come up on you. This is a lot less risk for a decent reward. And I found this one does really, really good about like getting that chitin. This is how I collected so much of my chitin. Pretty much I collect the tribe's chitin with this. And so that's really what I suggest is take a scorpion out and do this. All right, guys, so I want to make a quick side note here. Now, this is not the only thing you can use to collect this chitin. You can use a lot of things to collect the chitin, but this is what I have had to use because it's all I have. I would love to get a Diplocalus. They would be much more efficient at this, but unfortunately, all I got right now is the scorpion, so that's what I'm using. But that's going to be it for this video. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you next time.